Welcome into the Dynasty Total Access. I'm your host, Expert, and you know I got the homie Farquad with me. What's up, my dude?
Hey, week 2, man. Let's get it. Let's get it.
Let's get it. Week 2 in Madden 2018. It's kind of been an up and down first week. We got some guys, including your boy Expert, not really happy with the game right now. And then we got other users like the homie Farquad, who is licking his chops with those Atlanta Falcons. But, I mean, here's the thing, guys. Dynasty, look, there's going to be positives and negatives to every Madden game that we get. There was just different ones with 17. So, like the homie Farquad says, you just got to grind. You got to adjust. Mm-hmm. But what are some things we would like to see change? I'm going to say right now, the first thing I want to see change is I want to see some pressure from the defensive line more than what it is now. I got two monsters at defensive end in Houston, and literally J.J. Watt looked like an 8th grade JV B teamer against the Jaguars last night. It just was horrible. So defensive pressure, definitely something I need changed. Farquad, I know you played a game. You got you a W. Matter of fact, got you 2 W's in one game because you was putting it down on
got excited and pulled the cord out, man. Yeah,
and then got excited and kicked the power cord. So you had to get 2 W's for 1 W. But what was something from your game that you wanted to see changed?
I would definitely say the pressure is one thing. That it was tough getting to that quarterback. But it's pretty much the same thing we've been talking about, man. The zone reads. You literally, I'm not gonna give it away to free chicken, but you have to play a certain style to cover, a certain part of the field with those zones. It is a little crazy how the DBs react to the ball in the air. But besides that, those are the main things we were talking about. It was the zone reads and defensive line. Getting pressure on the quarterback, and of course playing around, the penalties that they try to they emulate in this is always a tough thing. But besides that, yeah, those are my things, man. Defensive pressure, of course, and covering those zones. Having to play a certain type of way covering the zones. It's wide open, and the way the DB react to the ball in the air, it's frustrating. I almost broke my controller a few times.
Yeah. No doubt. All right, one more thing in the game that I know Farquad is passionate about is the XP sliders in the Dynasty. We got to commish. We got to commish. And, Total Access, we got none but respect for the homie Nasty Noob. So he's got the sliders on 100. He said that only way we can get the sliders bumped up is if Martin Luther King comes back from the dead and leads the march for the Dynasty. But Farquad, I think you have another speaker that you think needs to lead this revolt to get our XP up. Tell us why you think XP sliders need to be bumped.
If you guys have not seen how much XP you need to acquire to raise some of this, it's crazy. It's very expensive. And like I said in the chat, us po folk, us middle class folk, we're not going to be able to afford some of this stuff on these sliders being at 100. Now, I understand, Dion, we had something, last Madden, it paid off in the long run. I was trying to push that agenda to raise the XP, and seeing how guys were getting XP, from the wars, I was like, okay, it's cool. But this year, they raised the bar with the XP. So in order for us to keep up with that, I don't even want a lot. Raise up to 150. What's wrong with raising the XP to 150? Seeing how much these trades cost. Why not? I mean, I don't have much to say after that. Like why not? I feel like XP is kind of doubled now, and seeing I don't know. That's just me. I don't have anything quite yet. But as I continue to build my case, I got my good friend Malcolm X coming to lead this revolt that we have going. We have an event going on in the chat right now that we're going to try to push the XP up to 150, and this revolt's going to be led by or this march. I'm sorry, it's not going to be revolt yet, but the march is going to be led by Malcolm X, and we're going to try to get this XP raised up to 150, man. But this is crazy expensive, man, and you don't get a lot of XP. As I've seen in my other league, you don't get a lot of XP week in, week out, even when you have a good game, unless you have a superstar. Of course, everyone is not going to have a superstar. So that's just my take on it, though.
Yeah, definitely no revolt happening yet. We're just trying to have a peaceful protest with the leader Malcolm X. But he did say by any means necessary. So we may have to bump it to a revolt here soon. But one more topic before we get into these week 2 picks. And it's about scheduling your game and respecting of other people's time. Dynasty. Most of us in this brotherhood have been here together a long time. I mean, we don't have a lot of new guys in the Dynasty. So probably the most frustrating thing for me, and I know Farquaad feels the same way, is that if you have a small window to schedule a game, all this back and forth arguing and complaining about, I hit you this time, you didn't hit me this time. It's about just let's just schedule the game. You have 24 hours window to have the game scheduled, solid schedule, post it in the chat. Here, we are playing our game at this time. And it seems, Farquaad, like we got the same couple users that's always, I saw you put a picture out today, games remaining week 2 through 17, including John. So, look, it seems like it's always, and not just John, but it seems like it's always the same couple users. That's the last few guys to play their game, the last few guys to schedule it. I've always been one of those guys, like, before the advance happens, I'm already trying to schedule my next game.
Correct.
Just because it's a respect thing for me. Right, Farquaad? Isn't it a respect thing for the other guys in the brotherhood?
That's probably the most important aspect. I mean, that's how these leagues are ran. I mean, if time frames aren't right, then I mean, leagues are pretty much going to go under. Yes, I'm not even going to dog anyone on this particular subject because things happen. We're all grown. There's 32 grown ass men in this league. People have families, wives, jobs, kids to take care of. So things come up. But if this is a trend for you, and you seem to be one of the users that are always there when it comes time for these remaining games. As much as as much as you love the league and you want to be here, maybe a 48-hour advance isn't for you. There's a lot of leagues out there that have 72-hour advances. There's leagues out there that has advances that fit your lifestyle. Maybe 48 hours isn't for you, and that's okay. I know if it wouldn't work for me, I would, and I was that guy that was always kind of last in line. I would try to hold on as much as I can, because this is such a great league, and I would want to leave. But maybe 48 hours is not enough for you. Like the time, your time frames isn't working. Maybe you should try to reconsider that. But until then, this is just going to be a topic, I guess.
I guess. And we got to speak on it. But let's get into these week 2 games.
Let's get it.
We gonna start with a banger. It's the Dynasty Game of the Week.
In Houston, they fight for what's theirs. It's George Blanda and Warren Moon proving they belong. Now the Texans battle for what they fought so hard to take back. These are the Texans. It's full steam ahead in Cincinnati. From coaching innovators to helmet stripes. Even their celebrations change the game. These Bengals only stop to do the icky shuffle. These are the Bengals.
It's Expert and those Houston Texans traveling to Cincinnati to play Addy 5 and the Bengals. Now, both of these teams coming off of losses. I think Addy 5 threw for like 4,000 yards in that opening game. I mean, he was all over the place. And then Andy Dalton just kind of went brain dead on some throws. I know it was frustrating for Addy 5. Both of these guys looking to bounce back. You know, I'm never picking against myself. So I got to take the Houston Texans in a close one over Cincinnati.
Eddie 5 through 4. His stat line: 27 out of 37, 529 yards, 4 touchdowns. One of his receivers, AJ Green, 7 catches, 224 yards, 2 touchdowns. His other receiver,
crazy,
John Ross, 8 catches, 148 yards, no touchdowns. He's got firepower, but he lost that game. He lost. The opponent scored more than him. Why? Defense. Cincinnati defense is not there. It's not all the way there. Texans defense isn't all the way there also. These are 2 great offenses. This is going to be another shootout. I'm excited to watch this game. This is going to be, like I said, another game of the week with another shootout. I'm going to give this game to the Titans. To the Texans. Simply because these wide receivers are just that much faster than the DBs that will be out on that field. I think you're going to bounce back. I think that defensive line is going to hold up, and because that offensive line out there in Cincinnati isn't the best either. It's probably one of the worst offensive lines in the league, to be honest. But I'm going to give this to the Texans, man. I think that just personnel wise is going to win this game over, and I think he'll bounce back and get this game, man. Look out for J.J. Watt. I think he's going to have a come-out game to make up for that week 1 debacle. So, Texans with the win.
Hold on. I'm writing all this down. Bengals secondary garbage. Bengals offensive line trash. I just want to make sure I got all the notes down so I'm prepared for the Bengals. Next up, it's the homie Houdini and those Cleveland Browns, and he's going into Baltimore to play skill trade and the Ravens. Now, I really like this Cleveland Browns team, Farquad. They have some weapons. I think if he can get the quarterback, that young Kaiser at quarterback, figured out, they got some speed on that defensive side of the football, and we know how much Houdini loves throwing this rock around. And this game kind of suits that if you figure out how to throw the ball against these secondaries. So I got to go with Houdini and the Browns. He's going to start 2-0 in Madden 18 against the Ravens.
This is going to be another good game. All these games are just going to be really good. This first season in Dynasty is going to be really – every game is going to be interesting leading up to the Super Bowl. I think, and this is another good one. Ravens came off with an impressive win in overtime. They won on a safety in overtime. Like that's exciting right there. That defense showed up when it needed to be. Going against the Cleveland team, Deshaun Kaiser, he played a great game. He threw 4 picks. So, the interception total may be starting to kind of pile up a little bit. I think he's going to throw more. Skill trade, he's not bad, man. He hung in there against a team that was destroying him in the pass game. He hung in there, though, and fought. I think it's going to be another dogfight, a good divisional matchup. I'm going to give this game to skill trade and the Ravens, though, man. They're going to take this one.
Wow. Next up, it's the homie Hamilton and those Buffalo Bills going in to play C-Rob and the Panthers. I don't think the Bills have played his week 1 game. I think he plays the Jets a little bit later tonight. But I did get to see a little bit of C-Rob play against Andy and those 49ers. 49ers, I think, are going to be real in Madden 18.
Oh, yeah.
And C-Rob, here's the thing about C-Rob. Once he figures out his running game, everything else will fall into place for C-Rob. Let's not look at that first game. That's an anomaly for the homie C-Rob. I think without seeing Hamilton play, Buffalo is a struggling football team. And Farquhar, you know that more than anybody since you had them back in 17. This is a bad football team. Maybe not as bad as the Jets, but they're bad. So I got to go with C-Rob and the Panthers in a close one, week 2.
Yeah, I'm not sure how much Hamilton has played in sim mode. He looked really impressive during comp, playing in comp when we were doing the online head-to-head friendlies. He looked really impressive, but this is a different monster right here. So I by default I have to pick Carolina to win this game. My division mate, C-Rob, but he gave up 42 points. I mean, that's a lot of points. He gave up a lot of points. Gave up a lot of rushing yards. I mean, the 49ers had their way with Carolina that last game, but just by default, I don't know how much Buffalo has really been worked with since switching over to Sim. I'm gonna give this to. I mean, Cam Newton looked pretty good. He looked okay. He looked okay. You gotta get Christian McCaffrey going though. He had 3 rushing attempts.
Gotta get him
2 receptions. You gotta get him going in order to get that offense moving. That's you gotta draft him first round for a reason. But I'm gonna give this game to Carolina Panthers though, with the win.
No doubt. Next up, it's underrated in those Cardinals going up against T-Pain and the Indianapolis Colts. Now, underrated played the Lions last week, Mr. Butters himself, and got a loss. And T-Pain got him a loss and a win. So, from what I heard, the Rams was putting it on the Colts. All of a sudden, disconnect happens. And then we all know how replays work. Most of the time, it does not go in your favor. And T-Pain came out and looked like a whole different team against the Rams and kind of put it on him. But I really do think the Colts has a good offensive football team. Their defense is suspect, but they have some weapons on that offense with Luck and T.Y. Hilton. They got some guys that can go get the ball. So I gotta go, especially how underrated played against the Lions. Did not come out and show me much. I'm going with the Colts. This is crazy. T-Pain and the Colts is gonna start 2-0 in Madden 18.
Yeah, I'm gonna piggyback on that, man. The game, that first game, 21-6, and the disconnect happened. I don't know if he pulled a me and got happy and pulled the plug, on accident, or he was getting that ass waxed and pulled the plug. We don't know. But happy belated birthday to the homie anyway. I know it was his birthday yesterday, so happy belated birthday to him. But he came out second game, and he played solid. I'm looking at this stat line. Andrew Luck, 20 for 25, over 300 yards, 2 touchdowns.
It's crazy.
T.Y. Hilton, over $150, 2 touchdowns. This team looked good. This team looked good. Malik Hooker, the rookie, had 2 picks. I'm gonna give this game to the Colts. He started off well. I think he'll keep that momentum going, and win this game, man. Arizona, you got some things to work out on. He had no business actually losing that game against Detroit. He had no business losing that game. I think his woes are going to continue to happen throughout the second game. We're gonna get to the Colts though.
All right, next up, it's H-Town and those Tennessee Titans with a little division rival against King Vitamin and the Jaguars. Now, Jaguars look good versus my Texans week 1. Leonard Fournette is the real deal. H-Town, you need to put 2 people on Leonard Fournette every tackle, because if one guy tries, they probably get run over. That guy is a monster. He reminds me of Big Buck that H-Speed had with the Titans. I mean, he just literally, he was difficult to bring down. And if the first guy misses, he's got enough speed that it may be 3, 4, 5 yards before he's even close to another guy touching him. So this is going to be a breakout year for Leonard Fournette. Jaguars with a big win this week.
I'm going to give this game to the Jaguars also. This team is the real deal. I still have yet to see Tennessee play. I know they're going to take kickoff later on tonight, if I'm not mistaken also. Jaguars, though, this team is good. Both sides of the ball. They have a great user also that's going to keep them, in playoff contention. I don't need to spend too much time on this pick, man. Jaguars with the win.
No doubt. Next up, it's KP and those Philadelphia Eagles going up against the Black Harry Potter, a.k.a. Mo Booker, and those Chiefs. This is going to be ugly, Farquad, for 2 reasons. One, KP is a top 3 user in this league. I don't care what version Madden we playing. Second, he got beat in week 1 in a game I know he thinks he should have won, especially in a game where he got ran on like he's probably never been run on before. I mean, that rookie in Washington is still running over Eagles defenders right now and running past me. I mean, that was a dirty game in the run game with Washington. So KP about to come out and put it on Mo Booker. Easy win for the Eagles this week.
This was that first game, our game of the week 1 to kick off our Dynasty season, was a really entertaining game. It was back and forth. And Mo Booker played a really good game too against a very good New England team. He fought. He fought very well. But KP, like you said, man, KP's the top 3 in this league. He's not going 0-2. He will win this game in a very fashionable sense. Eagles with the win.
No doubt. Next up, it's the co-commish SJ and those Patriots going up against Matty Ice, the cat with 9 lives, and those New Orleans Saints. And the Saints had a rough game today against the commish, Nasty Noop. It looked like Dion just had his way in that game with those Vikings,
spanking them.
And we'll get to those Vikings next. And the Patriots probably have the most well-rounded team in all of Madden, offensively and defensively. They have the greatest quarterback of all time. Got into an argument with Expert Jr. the other day. He don't think Tom Brady is the greatest of all time, but which look, I can't fault him because he said Joe Montana was, and Joe Montana was a great quarterback, but there's a reason Tom Brady's on the cover, and he's got 5 rings to prove it. And this is going to be another good game for the Patriots. I don't see the Saints making the adjustments that he needs to make, and the Patriots are going to put it on him by 10. By 10, Patriots will win.
Saints got some work to do.
Yeah, he does.
The Vikings had their way with them in every aspect of that football game we watched earlier. That was a slaughter. He's got Matty Ice has got another tough test this week. He's going up against a really, really, really good Patriot team. Tom Brady coming off his week 1 performance, 17 out of 21, 304 yards, and what was his wide receiver? Brandon Cooks, man, 8 catches, 217 yards, man, and a touchdown, and a really well-rounded defense as well. So we'll see what Matty Ice comes out and the Saints come out this second game, but I'm going to see the same result, man. Another L in that loss column. Give him 2 L's. Be LL Cool J. That's what we can call him for at the end of week 2.
No doubt.
Patriots with the win.
Next up, it's those Vikings we talked about, and Dion, a.k.a. Nasty Noop, and he's got to go up against Matt, MCV, and those Steelers. Let's take a minute to talk about these Vikings. First off, we all know Nasty Noop, a diehard Atlanta Falcons fan, was not happy that he got the Vikings, but I think he's starting to feel a little bit better. Let's just talk about all around offensive parity in that Minnesota locker room. Teddy Bridgewater, 12 of 17, 160 yards, only threw 1 touchdown. But guess what? That rookie that he's got, Dalvin Cook from Florida State, 23 carries for 176 yards and 2 touchdowns. Had 5 broken tackles. But here's the thing that is most impressive about Nasty Noop. You can't just cover one guy in that secondary, no matter who you got, because he threw to 6 different people in that game. Nobody had more than 4 catches. He spread the ball around with that offense, and then that defense just locked the Saints down. We're talking 4 turnovers, and probably 2 of them were just dirty plays in that secondary. 2 dirty plays with his defense.
Defense showed out.
Defense definitely showed out. And I think he's going to do it again against the Steelers. I think Matt's got a little bit of work still to do with those Pittsburgh Steelers. They got a lot of talent, but this defense in Minnesota is the real deal. Vikings with the win this week.
I don't get this Steelers team. I had them with the win week one, and he did the complete opposite. He got waxed.
Yeah.
This is a really good team. I don't know what happened, but Vikings is coming in here very, very, very confident. This is a very confident team. So, I'm not going to pick the Steelers to win this game. I'm going to pick the Vikings just because their confidence right now is on another level. And seeing the way that defense played and that offense was just working on all cylinders, this is a dangerous team. It's week one, I know. Oh, this is week two now. I understand, but you could tell a lot about a team, just how they play from the week one, and they were firing on all cylinders on both sides of the football. I'm going to give this game to the Vikings.
No doubt. Next up, it's KP, the real KP, and those Bears going up against the OG Chris Murray, a.k.a. Terradome, and those Tampa Bay Bucks. Both of these guys coming off of losses. I think the Bucks is a little bit better team if you look on paper. But I'm going to give this one to KP. You know how much I hate going against the OG Chris Murray? Mm-hmm. That's our homie on Total Access. But I really think this guy, the real KP, has got some talent. I know he got his brains beat in twice in that week one matchup versus the Falcons. But the Bears bounced back in a close game over the Bucks this week.
This Bears team is solid. That defense is solid. They have a stout defensive line. They're solid all over. Tampa Bay, Tampa Bay is what I thought they were going to be going into week one, and that's led by a quarterback that was going to throw at least 3 to 4 picks week in, week out. He proved me right the first game. He's tied for the league in interceptions with 6 picks. He's going to continue to do against his Bears team. This Bears team is really good. I'm going to give this game to KP. Bears with the win.
Next up, it's those San Diego Chargers and Dat Boy Good.
Uh-oh.
Now, Dat Boy Good played the Broncos in week one, and he did not have a very good offensive game. I mean, I know the score looked good, but there is a reason Dat Boy picked these Chargers early in the Dynasty draft, and it's because of this defense. And they forced 7 turnovers in the first game, Farquaad. That's crazy. And this week, he's got tight work and those Miami Dolphins coming to town. And I just don't know if the Dolphins have a quarterback to test this secondary or to get away from this defensive line that's coming for him. I'm going to pick Dat Boy Good and those Chargers in a huge win over the Dolphins this week.
Okay. This is going to be a good game right here. I have this being a little closer. Week one jitters was definitely out there for some of these teams. But the Dolphins, they won in pretty convincing fashion that week one game. They dropped 37 on the Bucks at home. They had a great win. Defense played well all over. But the Chargers, man, the way they played week one, this is another team I think is going to be solid come time for week 17. This line was crazy. Joey Bosa and Melvin Ingram, they got out to the quarterback.
Yeah, they did.
7 pickles they caught?
7.
Woo. And we don't call him Juke God for no reason, man. Melvin Gordon back there in that backfield is a problem. I'm going to give this game to the Chargers, man. Chargers with the impressive win this week.
No doubt. Next up, it's Ness and those New York Jets going up against Darkness and the Raiders. Now, Ness hasn't played his week one game. Hurry up and play your game, Ness. Man, I keep waiting to see what he's going to do Madden 18 since he's been gone for a whole year. But I know what kind of user Ness is, and I also know what kind of user Darkness is. But Madden 18 is showing us something, Farquaad. Who you were in Madden 17 means absolutely nothing. And we'll get into why it means nothing in this next game. But I'm going to go with Ness just based off of the type of user that he is. I know he's been labbing. If any y'all think that he ain't been playing games, trying to figure this game out, y'all don't know Ness very well. Jets with a close win over the Raiders.
I don't know if I'm seeing this right, but my it looks like the Jets game just completed.
Uh-oh.
I don't know if they played it. I don't know why it has 0-1 right now. Did they just finish that game?
No, I don't
Looks
think
like-
so.
Oh no, the Eagles. Okay, now not wrong one. I'm looking at the wrong one. Shout out Ness, man. He's a Philly fan. I was looking at the wrong one. My fault. But I don't know how much Ness has played, and I don't know how much or how much Darkness has played too. I'm picking at this point. I'm picking the better team. I'm picking the Raiders. Marshawn Lynch. And behind that stout offensive line, Jets is just a terrible team all around. I'm giving it to the Raiders to win this game.
No doubt. Next up is Hot Tub and those Dallas Cowboys. And he's got the Denver Broncos this week. And the homie Jay Skills. Now, we know what kind of user Hot Tub was last year. I mean, the man hung multiple banners in Madden 17. He did not look good. He did not look good at all versus Flair and those New York Giants. He did not look like the Hot Tub that we are used to seeing. Now, does that mean that he's fallen off in Madden 18? Maybe he had a rough day. Donald Trump has been traveling around quite a bit. He's probably wore out. So he may have been just tired. He's got that kind of lifestyle. It's hard to get those games in. But I'm kind of anxious to see what he does versus his old team, those Denver Broncos. Because on paper, the Dallas Cowboys Farquad is just stacked on that offensive side of the football.
Without a doubt.
They should never kick a field goal or punt the football with the amount of weapons they got. And I can't go against Hot Tub. I'm picking the Cowboys, but I'm going to be watching this one close because we need to see what this Cowboys team really about. Is Hot Tub a Madden 17 player or is he just a Madden player? We'll find out this week.
Well, this is going to be another good game too. I definitely have this circled on my on my calendar. Dallas and the Broncos, man. Hot Tub goes back into Denver since last time he raised the banner to conclude the Madden 17 season. High stakes. This is Tone Dog, man.
It's Tone Dog. Yeah, I know. I said Jay Skills. It's Tone Dog, the commish.
Tone Dog is back in Denver, man. Back in the Mile High City.
That's his squad too.
He had an ugly week one, man. I think he's going to shake the jitters off, and this will be a little bit more of a competitive game. I know Cowboys. I myself know that Hot Tub won that game, but he was not happy about the way he won that game. I know this man normally drops 60 to 70 points a game, and I know he's listening to the show now. Shouts out to him. He always says he does not play his game until he listens to Total Access to know how many points he needs to drop. But this is a different animal, man. Sim mode is different. You're not going to do the same stuff that you did last Madden in this one. Denver has a really good defense too. This defense is stout. Like I said, two of the best corners in the game. I'm going to give this game to Hot Tub. It's going to be a close game, but I'm going to give this game to the Cowboys, man. They're going to win this game. I'm going to give them by a touchdown. They'll win this game.
Wow.
Tone's going to bounce back. He's going to bounce back, but just Dallas is going to be a little bit too much for him. Dallas
shout out to homie Tone Dog. My bad. I know it's not Jay Skills. It's the homie Tone Dog with the Broncos. Hopefully he can bounce back. Can't turn the ball over 7 times versus Hot Tub.
No.
That would be disaster. But next up, it's probably the most impressive user out of week one next to my homie Farquad and those Falcons. But it's H-Speed and those Redskins.
Yes, sir.
And he's got to go into Los Angeles and play the homie with those Rams. Now, Farquad, what this man did with Perrin from Oklahoma. I know you got to have a lineup of what he did. How many rushes, how many yards he had, but it was ridiculous.
Samaje P. Ryan ran. Bro, I think he set the rookie record for the organization, man. He ran for 28 carries, which is of the norm in any system that H-Speed is running. Them linebackers, they get their work. They got to earn that check. 28 carries for 255 yards and 4 touchdowns. That's quarterback numbers.
That's dirty.
every time he touched the ball, he ran for at least 9 yards. At least 9 yards he was running for per carry. It was incredible to see him, what he did and how he stuck to it. Even when he was down by 2 touchdowns, he still stuck to it. And this is going to be – Tazarelli's in for a long day. I know he's got a beast in Aaron Donald out there on that line, but you're going to need a lot of Aaron Donalds on that line to keep up with P. Ryan, the way he's running guys over. Once he gets into once he turns that second gear, gets up there, it's lights out. I'm going to give this game to Washington, though. Redskins with the impressive win.
Okay, so I'm going to agree the Redskins get this win, but Taz is one of those guys that loves to hang his hat on shutting the run down. Yeah. And the Rams got some offensive weapons. Todd Gurley is no joke in that backfield. Todd Gurley can have a big game. I'm with Farquhar. I'm going to give it to the Redskins in a close one. But it's going to be one of those games I can't wait to see. Next up, it's Andy Force and those 49ers going up against the big homie and the Seahawks. Now, it's the same Andy Force we're always used to. He picked right back up in 18 where he left in 17. And it's not going to change in week 2. 49ers, not even going to waste time. Easy win versus the Seahawks.
Yeah, 49ers with the win. I'm not wasting time on this pick.
Next up, it's John and the Packers going up against my brother Lord Farquaad and those Falcons. Now, we talked earlier, Atlanta got 2 wins in week 1 after kicking the cord out of because the laptop was plugged in. But he's going to start the year off 2-0 on the sheet because he gets an easy user and an easy team in those Green Bay Packers. Julio Jones about to go off in this game. And Freeman in that backfield is just a workhorse. You better cover Freeman coming out the backfield, running the ball, catching the ball. He does everything for them. Falcons with the easy win this week.
Hey, John, I didn't say it was easy, bro. I didn't say that. I'm not gonna put that bad. I know better than to put that bad juju out there. I will never do it again. But I'm looking forward to this game, man. We get to open up our home opener in our brand new stadium, and we welcome Green Bay, and we're gonna put on a show for the homeboys, man. We're gonna put on a good show for the fans, for everybody. DML Network, everybody's gonna be watching. Make sure you follow, man. Home opener, brand new stadium. We're finna get lit, man. Let's go.
Yeah, it's gonna be dirty. Last game of the week, it's Butters, a.k.a. Sim Game, a.k.a. former Stretch Armstrong winner, and those Detroit Lions going up against the homie Flair and the New York Giants. Mm-hmm. Now, the Giants lost week 1 and the Lions won. But there are no moral victories in football. But if you look at that football game, Flair left points on the board where he could have put up several touchdowns. And he just made a bad play here, a bad play there, but was in that game for a long time till the very, very end. And Butters, I hate to say this, and I didn't pick Flair very often in 17, but I really think the homie Flair, he got some things working. That offense is filthy in New York, and I'm going to pick, this is my upset pick of the week. Uh-oh. Flair with his first win of Madden 18, the Giants squeak one out against Detroit.
This is a new Madden. This is a new cycle. Everything that we did last cycle is thrown out the window. Oh man, the Giant. Look, I'm picking Butter. I'm picking the Lions. I'm not even gonna bullshit, but. I'm not going to be shocked or surprised or none of that if the Giants win this game, because they should. I think they should have won the first game. I think especially the way they played, and they should win this game also. But I'm I don't know. I don't even know. But Lions with the win, man. Lions with the win.
No doubt. All right, guys, that's week 2 of Madden 18. It's your boy Expert. Those are our opinions. Prove us right, prove us wrong. And I got the homie Farquhar with me.
Hey, let's get it.
We out.